Christian is a first-time call out of Los Angeles. Christian, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing okay, I guess.
What's wrong?
Well, I've been listening to your show for a minute, and I hear a lot of things coming out that, are pretty good advice, but I'm having trouble getting to stick to my life. And I'm 35.
Christian.
Hey, Jesse.
Oh, good, man. Go ahead. So you say you're 35, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's wrong?
I just go through these big swings of depression where I just kind of lose motivation. I just kind of self-loathing, and I just don't know how to shake it sometimes.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
You have kids?
No kids.
And how long have you been married?
13 years.
Why did you get married?
I'll be totally honest with you. It was more of a convenience thing. I was in the military, and I figured, I love the girl, but I wasn't necessarily ready to get married. But it was kind of nice to just get all the make life easier on both of us to get the benefits, and she can be with me while I go travel the world and stuff, things like that. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty typical military. Any honest military person will tell you it happens all the time. I mean, I'm not making excuses, but it's just something that...
Come back to your phone, Christian.
Say again?
Come back to your phone. Stay with the phone because you're going in and out.
Okay, I'm still here.
Okay, so you said it's typical in the military for men and women to get married so that they can travel and all that?
I just think it's a pattern. It's not necessarily for that, but I mean, like I said, it's a convenience. It's an added bonus, but the pattern is that people get married at a young age.
Amazing. Hold on for me, Christian. Let me take a quick break. I'm at the top of the hour. Do not hang up. Hey, Christian, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, thank you for holding. Why you don't have children with your wife?
She wasn't ready to have kids. I was, but she wanted to go to school and pursue her career and all that. So,
when knowing that she was, did you find this out after you married her that she didn't want to have kids, or wasn't ready to have kids?
Yeah, that was something that I was, thinking was going to happen, in our 20s. And I knew she wanted to have her career, pursue her professional life.
Well, why did you stay with her knowing that? Why didn't you just say, okay, this marriage is over there because I want a family? Why would you marry? It's like marrying a man. Why would any man marry a woman that don't want to have kids? There's no reason to be married if you're not going to have kids.
I love the woman. She was a good woman. I considered her a woman at the time. I mean, she's a woman now, of course. In her mind, I mean. But anyway, back to that time, it was just my belief that when you're married, the only grounds for divorce is, adultery. Other than that.
But you married the wrong woman, though. You married a woman that don't want kids. And like I said, there's no reason to get married. Once you find out they don't want kids, it's time to move on. Because in the fallen state, men marry the wrong women.
I mean, I was young and naive at the time. I mean, now, I agree with you that, what's the point of marriage if you're not even going to have kids?
Right. It's just having a roommate.
I think she, she's now opening up to the idea, but, I mean, she's talked about going and seeing a doctor, things like that, because we're both older now, but, she's at that age where, women are in decline, the birth rate.
You said women are in decline because of birth rate?
Well, no, because of their age, the birth rate declines. It's harder to get pregnant. It's harder, there's more complications.
Oh, I see. But this is why men should never, and I know you were young and didn't know at the time, so I do understand that. But when you're dating, you're not supposed to have sex while dating. You're supposed to find all these things out about one another while dating. And if you find out something that you don't agree with, like she doesn't want to have kids or he doesn't want to have kids in the woman's case, then you move on and let God add a woman to you. Don't ever marry a woman that want to put a career before having a family, because it's like having a roommate. And then they get old, the body falling apart, they can't have it, and now you're stuck.
I hear what you're saying, Jesse, and I wish I would have thought of it, a lot more clearly at the time.
Yes. And so, what so what causes you to get depressed, become depressed at times?
I just, basically, I don't feel adequate. I don't feel content with the man that I am.
Yes. I understand that.
And I do have these thoughts where, like, I see guys my age that have their kids, and I long for that.
I bet, man.
I don't think. I mean, that's part of why I feel depression and stuff at times.
It would be horrible. I can't even imagine marrying a woman so that I can start my own family, have kids, and then after the marriage, I find out I got a woman that don't want kids. That's enough to make you depressed.
Yeah, I guess when you're young, you think you got time on your side, and maybe in a few years, but those years go by, and next thing you know, you're 30, you're 35, and it's like, where did my life go?
So,
where did my youth go?
And so, what's your question for me, Kristen?
So basically, I kind of understand what you're saying, but I don't have a way of, moving forward. I'm trying to find a purpose in life.
Why don't you have a way of moving forward?
Well, I feel like I've done it all. I got it all. On paper, my life seems like I've achieved a lot. I have a lot of success, but it just feels, I still feel that emptiness, and it's not from the kids. Just as a man, I don't feel that, on a man-to-man level, I don't have that respect. I don't have that stature.
I totally understand. How does your wife treat you?
It goes both ways. I mean, when it's good, she respects me, and she knows that I'm the man and she's the woman. But other times, it's like totally opposite, and we get into our, disagreements.
When what goes good?
When the relationship's going good, and
when is it going good? What is happening that make you think it's going good at certain times?
We're just, spending time with our family together or taking a trip somewhere.
Oh, that's not a sign of going good. But listen, is she white or black?
Mexican.
And are you black?
No, I'm Mexican.
Are you Mexican?
Yeah.
I stayed up all night to get a Mexican. You sound black. Why you sound so black?
I don't know. That's the first time I heard that one.
Or you sound white. You don't sound Mexican.
I guess that's that private school education.
Yeah. So here's what I recommend, man, because you're going to be fine. You got to, that depression that you feel at time, and that emptiness and that void that you feel at time, you don't feel like a man and all that. You think that you're looking for a purpose. That depression is the spirit of the woman. It's the sickness of the woman. Men don't get depressed, right? And so the only reason that you're depressed at time because you have the nature of a woman inside of you. You have your mother's nature, her mindset, and her emotions. And so you know exactly how women feel. They get depressed, they get this and that. And so the way to overcome the depression is that you got to overcome the woman's spirit. You got to go and forgive your mother for setting you up like this.
I've tried that because I've been listening to your show, and I've told my mom, I've apologized, or I've asked, I've forgiven my parents, both of them, because they both had, their things in our past.
What did you say to her?
I told her that, I forgive her, and, for everything that she's ever done that may have contributed, negatively to my life. But
that may have?
That has.
And what did she say?
She don't think that she did anything. I mean, she's just kind of like, well, okay, that's fine. But she's like, thank you. That's pretty much her response.
Amazing. And how did you react to that?
I mean, I wasn't expecting her to break down and cry or anything like that. I felt neutral.
When you say you felt neutral, what does that mean?
It was just like, okay, it's done with. I've said what I have to say, and I'm moving forward. I didn't sit there and dwell on it.
Good. And how about your father?
Man, he's such a stubborn man. It's hard to communicate with. I forgive him, and I don't hold any resentment as far as I don't separate myself from him. I try to have a relationship with him, but the guy is just so hard to communicate with. We butt heads. We end up. So I try to be the peacemaker instead of going at him.
Don't try to be the peacemaker. So did you go to him to forgive him for what he did or not being there for you to separate you from your mother?
Honestly, I never really sat down.
Well, no wonder.
I mean, I've tried, but he we end up arguing. He denies what he's done, and he acts like he doesn't need help.
What did he do to you?
He exposed me to a lot of abuse of my mom, stuff like that.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, he would hit her and verbally abuse her, and I was, he thought I didn't know what was going on, but I mean, I'm right in the next room, I hear what's going on. And he was just he wasn't exactly a great role model for a man, you know what I mean? So I never had that in my life growing up.
What did he do to you?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He exposed me to that, and it just hurt me to see him do that. So
why did it hurt you to see that? It wasn't happening to you.
I mean, because it's my mom. I feel for her.
Why you feel for her? Did you feel for your father when your mother caused him to do that?
I don't really know the true reasons of why he did what he did.
That's what you need to be finding out rather than accusing him, because you're treating him the way your mother treated him, and that's why he can't deal with you properly, because you got the spirit of your mother instead of your own identity, and so you're dealing with him in the way a woman deals with him. You have identified with your mother. So far, you haven't told me anything that he's done to you. You have no right to be mad at him for what happened with he and your mother. That was between them. And you know how women can cause men to go nuts because they're married to their mama.
No, I think you're right about that. I think you hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah. You're dealing with him like a woman. You're accusing him the same way your mother did. And he can't handle that spirit because you have your mother's spirit.
Yeah.
So far...
He got the same thing going with his dad, so it's like a pattern,
Yes, exactly. Because men don't realize they're dealing with their fathers, with their mother's spirit. And they think that because the mother and the father are fighting in the room next door, somehow or another, it's just the father's fault. They don't see what the mother is doing to drive him nuts, because he never got over his mother, so you become attracted to what you hate. And so he was sounded like he wasn't ever able to deal with your mother because it was his mother. And now he can't deal with you because his mother's inside of you. You're mad at your father for no reason. So far, you haven't told me one thing he did to you. And that's why you have that void, that emptiness that you feel that makes you think you're looking for a purpose, but you're really looking for the return to your father. You need to apologize to your father for judging him with your mother's spirit. You identify with your mother and turn away from your father.
Right.
And that's what the emptiness is about. So when you return to your Father through Him, you will return to God, and you will be fulfilled, and there will be no more void.
So I got one more question. I know you got to move on, but what happens after I do that? And my dad still kind of lives a sinful life where he denies God, and he doesn't necessarily align with some of those things in my life that I try to follow.
I don't like to do what ifs, but if that should happen, that's on him. It has nothing to do with you. And so forth, you don't align with God, and nor does your mother, because you guys hate him. And if you align with God, you wouldn't be hating your father. You can't love God. You can't be a Christian and hate your father. Because when you hate your earthly father, you hate God, because the earthly father represents God. He may be a weak representation, but he still represents God. He's the Son. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So when you hate the Son, you hate the Father.
Yeah, I hear you.
So you can't judge your father how he is not aligned, because you're not aligned with God, nor is your mother, based on what you've told me.
I mean, that's definitely the case.
Yeah, it's all an act. It's a game. It's a club. It's not about God at all. So you can't tell me one thing that your father did to you.
No, I can't. I mean, I got slapped around a few times, but I deserve that. I know that.
Right. So now you see you need to go to him and apologize for judging him. You didn't understand at the time that your mother had caused you to identify with her, in return causing you to turn away from your father. And that's why you don't know that God is with you, because you have your mother's spirit. You're judging your father.
I'll try that out, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Just go to him and say, you know what? I realize now that you didn't do anything to me. That between you and my mother had nothing to do with me, and I'm sorry for for judging you like that. I was wrong. I am wrong, and I'm sorry, Father, for doing that. And whether he accepted or not is not important. The fact that you realize you were wrong for judging him with your mother's spirit, God will forgive you. And it wouldn't matter if your father changed or not. You're going to become the father, he'll become the son.
Yeah, I never tried that before.
Because you have realized that he hadn't done anything to you. The mother made the children think that, oh, your father was a bad guy. He was no good. He beat me. He beat me. He did this. Making you think that he doesn't love you. Your father loved you, man. He didn't do it. He just couldn't handle your mother. And your mother was not the angel that she pretended to be. She wasn't a victim. She drove him to that.
No, he was good. He was a good dad. I can't deny that. So, I can't pin nothing on him. It's like, you're right. It was between him and my mom.
Yeah, had nothing to do with you at all, but she made you feel that way. That's how wicked the mothers are that do those types of things to their children.
Yeah, I just feel that if I had kids, I would never expose my children.
No, you would. That's easy said. That's easy said, because you become like what you hate. You would do the same thing. The woman you're with would do exactly what your mother did to you. You're married to your mother. And she would do that to your children, and you would be able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Because
you're right. I can't argue with you at all.
Yeah. You become like what you hate. So stop being in the now. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. Yes, you would. We're not in control. It's the spirit that we serve and that control us. And that spirit that's in your mama is controlling you. It made you marry your mama, and you married a woman that won't even have children. So you're your father, and you're being weak.
Yeah, that's what makes me depressed. I feel weak. I feel like I don't have the strength of a man.
Right. I know exactly how that feels. So stop judging that. You couldn't help it. It's not your fault that you became that way. It's your fault if you don't overcome it. If you don't go and forgive your father for treating him that way, forgive your mother for the way she treated you, you will get worse. But don't judge yourself. That's what's making it worse. We can't judge ourselves, meaning we can't be angry at ourselves. We can't be angry at anyone because it's a spirit. You speak up, but don't be angry. You see injustice, but don't hate it.
All right, Jesse. I'll definitely do that, and hopefully that kicks off some major change in my life. I know I have a lot of greatness in me, and I want to release that greatness, but I feel like I'm stuck. So I'm going to give that a shot.
And don't expect anything from your father or your mother. Don't expect either one to apologize. Don't expect them to, quote unquote, become Christians. Don't do any of that stuff. You go on and forgive so God can forgive you. And you're totally wrong for hating your father. You didn't know it at the time that you were hating him with your mother's identity, but it still caused a problem for you. So don't expect him to change or anything, but just apologize for hating him with your mother's identity. And then let him know you appreciate what he's done for you, that he was a good father to you. He loved you.
Yeah, I know he does.
But you treat him the way your mother treated him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And your father has not had love from anybody, not from his mother, his father, not from his wife, and not from his son.
Hey, I'm sure that's probably how it feels sometimes.
Yeah.
I think he goes through the same things I go through, and I see it, and I'm like, man, I'm turning into my dad.
Yeah, you're going through the things that he feels, so now you understand how he feels.
Yeah. No, you're right, Jesse. It's almost like I knew exactly what you were going to tell me, but I just had to hear it. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Fellowship. You're absolutely right. We're supposed to edify one another and point the right way back to God. So I understand that.
All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, Jesse. I appreciate it. It was good talking to you, and I'm gonna keep in touch.
Go and talk to your father. Yeah, let me know how it goes too. All right.
All right, will do.
Are you doing my silent prayer video?
I did it yesterday for the first time.
Amazing. Stay with it. All right.
All right, will do. Thanks again, Jesse.
Yeah, let me hear from you, Christian.
All right, will do.
I wish you well, man. And then this situation with your wife, just in closing, God will guide you, right? And it will all work out one way or another. Don't look back and have any regrets at all because you couldn't see. You didn't realize at the time. And we all do crazy things in the fallen state because we don't see what we're getting into. And now that you're waking up, it's the Father who is waking you up, and he would take care of the situation as well.
Thank you, Jesse, for that. Appreciate it.
All right. Let me hear from you, buddy.
Okay, will do.
All right. Bye now.
All right. Bye.
Amazing. You must be born again, folks. Because you don't see what you're getting into. You must return to your Father.